Okay, so today we'll discuss regarding AWS Auto Scaling. Say here in the auto scaling, we have two types of auto scaling is there. One is vertical scaling, and second one is horizontal scaling. So what is the difference between vertical scaling and horizontal scaling is same instance, we are increasing the resource size. Okay, so we have taken T2.micro, then we are going to increase the size, or we can enable unlimited credit. So what is the meaning of unlimited credit is AWS is going to increase the size depends upon the load, but instance count is not getting increased. Okay, instance count is not getting increased. Same instance, but more CPU, more memory, more like storage we are going to add. So that is called as vertical scaling. Okay, so what is the concept of horizontal scaling is we are going to increase more number of instances. So we are going to increase more number of instances depends on load. So it depends upon the load. We are going to increase more number of instances. So that is called as horizontal scaling. AWS EC2 Auto Scaling provides horizontal scaling. As the name suggests, E means elastic. So what we can do with the elastic is we can scale up or we can scale down the resources. So that is the purpose. We are going for AWS EC2 Auto Scaling, but even AWS EC2 supports vertical scaling also. Okay, so how we can do the vertical scaling and the horizontal scaling, we'll discuss. We go to EC2. We go to the EC2 here. I'm going to launch an instance. As of now, we don't have any instances in North Virginia. To launch an instance. As of now, we are going to use T2.micro. I'll choose my auto scaling like that. And now here I'm going to choose Amazon Linux. And type we have chosen T2.micro. So if I choose T2.micro, I'm getting one virtual CPU, 1 GB RAM. So here go for advanced details. In the advanced details, normally we can add in a IAM profile. Otherwise, we can choose the shutdown behavior. So what is the meaning of shutdown behavior? Stop and terminate is if I choose this, if I stop my instance, automatically that instance would be terminated also. Automatically that instance would be terminated. But can you tell me what is accidental protection? So here this is accidental termination protection. If I enable this option, then automatically even if someone accidentally terminated that instance, it won't terminate. And even we can enable stop protection also for this. And here, if you want CloudWatch monitoring, enable. By default, we are getting only the basic monitoring itself. But for the production servers or which of the servers we want to monitor, it's recommended to enable detailed monitoring. More metrics can be collected. And here we have one option. What we are going to discuss is, can you tell me what is here unlimited credit means? Here, what is that unlimited credit? If I choose this option, it's not only T2.micro. Okay, say it increases even more resources also. It's just like your credit card kind of thing. If you use more, then you need to pay more money. If you don't use, no need to pay the money. This scalability is a horizontal scaling or vertical scaling?
Vertical.
Vertical, because the same instance we are getting more like CPU memory or automatically. In the T2 family or T3 family, what is the maximum size is there? That's limit we are going to get it. Not from other family of like M5, C7, from the family we don't get. Okay, from where we will get? Only from the T2 family only we will get it. If you choose T2 micro. If you choose T3 micro, from the T3 family we'll get the maximum. Okay, so like this we are going to choose it. So then here we have one more important one is there. Say here this is the user data. So what user data will do is, it's just like a launch scripts or startup at the time of launching, we want to run some commands. Those you can run in the user data. That means whenever that instance is getting launched, automatically those commands are going to run. If you have 100 instances, after connecting to the instance, you no need to write. Okay, so at the time of Ubuntu instance, it would be different, or Amazon Linux, it would be different. Again, in Amazon Linux, we have 2003 is the edition. So these are some of the commands. Okay, so at the time of here the script, I'm going to run this. Okay, but some commands are not working with Amazon Linux 2003. With Amazon Linux 2, it used to work. We'll do some changes because Amazon Linux extras, this doesn't work with Amazon 2003 instance. Only with the AMI, Amazon Linux 2, it works. Okay, so here, can you tell me what is the user data? Whatever the commands I have given, those commands is going to work whenever we have launched that instance. Instead of connecting to the instance at the time of launch itself, if you want to run any commands, those commands we can specify in
User data.
the user data. Okay, so this is called the launch scripts or user data. In Azure, it's called as custom data. So we can call the custom data, we can call. Okay. Any doubts? Okay, then I'm going to launch the instance. So we need to create a key pair also. So I'll choose Amazon Linux. Yesterday I created, I think, that key pair. I'm going to launch using that key pair itself. Now that instance is getting launched for us. If I try to terminate or stop this instance, it won't terminate because they have enabled accidental stop protection or termination protection. So here try to terminate this instance. Okay, so because for this instance, what we have enabled, termination protection, because accidentally if someone terminated our instances which are in production, it's again we have a lot of issues because we need to restore it, or from the snapshot we need to restore. Instead of that, better to enable termination protection. Okay, so then if we want to remove that operation, go to instance settings, change termination protection. So this enable, I want to disable this. Okay, so and if you want to disable that stop protection also, because now it won't stop also, and credit also I want to stop. Unlimited mode I want to, because they'll charge more amount for us. They'll charge the more amount for us. Okay, then change the stop protection also. So then I'll try to connect to this instance. So from the EC2 instance connect also directly we can connect. So instead of putty, but make a practice to connect through putty itself. In the var log user data, that data is going to be stored. In the var log cloud init hyphen, in that we are going to get it. We will require sudo also. In this, check those files. Cloud hyphen init output and whether those scripts are executed properly or not. Okay, so these all the logs we can check it from there. So what's happening in that logs and all the scripts what it running. Okay, from the var log we can get it. Dot log also. Okay, so here we got some errors. Okay, because in the Amazon Linux extras, these commands we don't have. Accordingly, we need to modify. See whether those scripts executed properly or not. All those we will get it from that output log. Okay, so from the output log, so that log is cloud-init output.log. We are going to get that, and you can modify that, and again we can rerun those scripts. Okay, do you understand what is that credit unlimited? Say for 1 hour, 2 hours, if my limit exceeded also, they will provide more resources. Okay, then we are going to get it. So we are going to get more resources. But then here I'll try to change the instance size. I'll select this instance. So this is also manually I'm changing. Why this option is not allowed to me? Okay, so why this is not enabled is this required instance stop. In the stopped state only we can do that. So let it stopped, then only we can change the instance type. So changing the instance type is also horizontal scaling or vertical scaling. It is in the stopped state, right? Select that instance, actions, change the instance type from which type to which type you want. But when I'm changing, okay, so it should be compatible also. So you don't change to this much bigger instances because they'll charge more. But we should have a compatibility also between T2 to C7 family, whether they have compatibility or not, we need to check it. Okay, so changing like this or unlimited credit is vertical scaling. Now we'll use AWS auto scaling groups. So auto scaling groups for EC2 comes under what? Vertical or horizontal? Okay, so this is horizontal auto scaling. So now Amazon EC2 auto scaling helps even if my traffic of the application has been increased automatically. All of a sudden, my traffic has been increased. Then physically or virtually creating more number of instances is very challenging kind of scenario. But with the cloud, what is the advantage? Automatically we can scale up or scale down. Automatically we can scale up or scale down more number of instances. So that is the purpose we are going for auto scaling group. In order to create an auto scaling group, we required launch template or launch configuration. So we have either launch template or launch configuration is required. Okay, so what is the concept of launch template or launch configuration is? Launch template is the new method, whereas launch configuration, they have already stopped this. Okay, so we want 100 missions. Create one setup first. And that can be scaled up to 100 missions. Okay, so that is the advantage. So that is the advantage to go for that. Okay, so we need to either launch template or launch configuration. Both are for the same purpose. Say, yesterday we took an application, maybe like a Choco, Lux something or emailer. Say that one template if you make, okay, then the same we will get 100 or 200 depends upon the requirement. Okay, so launch template is the old method. Okay, so launch template is the new method. Launch configuration, end of life already declared. That means there is no launch configuration, but both are for the same purpose. Okay, so both are for the same purpose. Okay, so then we are going to create an auto scaling group. Okay, so first what they are asking, create or choose launch template. As of now, we don't have a launch template. That is the purpose. What we are creating is we're going to create a launch template. Previously, we can create both launch template or launch configuration. Both launch template or launch configuration. Okay, so then I'm going to create my Choco template. So here we can define the version. Okay, so I'll give this as staging version. Okay, later I can move to production also. Then what is the source template or what is the image? So we don't have any source template as of now. Okay, but I have an AMI. Yesterday I created an AMI. So owned by me. Yesterday we created that AMI, right? From this I'm going to create the launch template because it required my application also inside that. Okay, Chocolux AMI I'm going to use. And optionally you can choose which instance also we want. So I can choose T2.micro because it's a free type. And if I create 100 instances for all the 100 missions, it's going to use the same AMI, same key pair, and same AMI ID. So that is the purpose we are going to create. That is the purpose we are going to create a launch template or launch configuration. But versioning is supported with only launch template only. As of now, we don't have launch configuration, but previously, say maybe 6 months back like that, we have launch template and launch configuration, both we have. Say here, I'm going to create a new security group or I can use the existing one also. I'm going to choose one security group also. Launch wizard 18 we have given and storage, all these options I have chosen. Then I'm going to create a launch template. So the template is getting created. So once we got the template, from this, I'm going to create a auto scaling group. So for my application, I want auto scaling. And here I need to choose a launch template. And that still the template is not created yet, maybe. So here, this is the launch template we got. Refresh once. So we got that Choco template. Then version. Okay, if tomorrow any new changes comes, I'll create a new version of template and all the missions, if I create 100 missions in the auto scaling, all would be moved to newer mission itself. Okay, the newer mission itself we can move. Okay, so from this, I'm going to create auto scaling group. Here I'll click next. Now, which VPC, default VPC, and it's recommended to choose minimum 2 zones because in the auto scaling, if I create 100 missions, all better to be in the same zone. Because if I keep all the servers in the same zone, and if that is down, it's a single point of crash. That is the reason it's recommended to keep in the multiple locations. So that's the reason we have chosen the multiple zones. Minimum 2 zones are recommended. And instance types, all these we can choose here also, but we are taking from template itself. So as of now, these steps are very, very important. Health checks are not taking. And what is the grace period? 300 seconds. What is this? We'll discuss. And we can enable the monitoring also. This setting is very, very important. Decide how many you want, minimum how many you want, maximum how many you want. In this scenario, we can give 100 instances. If more load comes, automatically more number of instances will be created. More number of instances will be created. So that is the purpose we are going for. We are going for auto scaling groups. So can you tell me what is the difference between design number, minimum capacity, maximum? In this scenario, when we create auto scaling group, how many number of instances will be created first? How many number of instances will be created? How many instances are created? In this scenario, how many instances are getting created? 2 or 1? Two instances or one instance? Okay, so as designed is there, two is going to take care at the time of launching. In the worst case, even one instance deleted also, minimum it takes minimum at any point of time one. If you do two, at any point of time, it will take care. Two instances would be running. Okay, here I can give maximum 10 instances I have given in this. And here choose the scaling. And when we need to increase the scale. Okay, I'm going to use target metric base. So here, what are the 4 metrics we have? Based on the CPU utilization, based on the network input, based on the network output, and application request per target. So based on these targets, we can scale up. So I'll set a condition. I'll use average CPU. If that average CPU is 50%, then I'm going to increase. And to start the new instances, it requires 300 seconds to warm up. It requires 300 seconds to warm up. That means a new instance doesn't start within seconds itself. Minimum it takes five minutes because it need to launch the instance, it need to launch the services, all the services need to start, application need to start, database connectivity need to establish, all that minimum it will take 5 minutes. And your application is taking more time, then even increase that size also. Okay, then increase even that size. Then you can call a notification also. We can use the SNS notification. With that, it can shoot an email also for us. Yes, we are going to create an auto scaling group now. This auto scaling, even if we terminate the instances, automatically 2 more instances will be created. Okay, create auto scaling group. It's updating the capacity, and we'll see how many instances we'll create from this. See here from the instance management, How many instances got created? 2 instances, and we can monitor all these instance refresh we can perform. If I upgrade to the newer version, automatically those will update to the newer version. And then if we go for auto scaling groups, even in the EC2 instance also, I can see those instances. These 2 instances got initiating. If I terminate these 2 instances, I'm terminating those 2 instances. Then can you tell me what's going to happen? Then what's going to happen? Auto scaling will create again the instances. How many we kept a minimum? How many we kept the minimum? Okay, so how much time it takes to create those new instances? Okay, it takes 5 minutes to start the instances. Wait, you no need to do anything. So this instance has been came to pending state, right? So who provisioned this instance? Who provisioned that instance? Who provisioned that instance? Auto scaling itself is automatically provisioned that instance. Okay, auto scaling itself has been came to running state. If you give minimum 2, another instance also will get. So can you tell me when the 2 instances will become 3? When those 2 missions will become the 3 instances? When those 2 instances will become 3? Okay, if the CPU reaches 50% on both the 2 instances, then automatically those will become 3 instances. But we given minimum 2, right? I think minimum 2, if we give minimum 2 need to start. Because we need to take in one started in 1A, one is started in 1B. What is the advantage of that? Even if one instance goes down also in one region, the solution is highly available from another region. The solution is highly available from another region. That is the main advantage. So here another instance also is started. So when these 2 will become 3?
When the CPU is more than 50% in both the instances.
What are the metrics we have? We can configure the metrics there.
Yes.
What are the metrics? One is CPU utilization, disk IO, third one is disk output, fourth one is load balancer load. So what is the concept of load balancers? We'll discuss in tomorrow class. So 2 came. Okay, even if I terminate these 2 also, those are keep on creating and create a new version of launch template and upgrade with all the instances to the newer version also. So here we have launch configurations also, but as of now, end of life has been declared. Okay, so launch configuration is anyhow is the old feature. In that place, what we have?
Launch template.
Launch template. So what is that SNS notification? Say if I use any auto scaling, 2 missions has become 3, or one more instance created, deleted. So those all we can send an email. If you enable SMS notifications for your auto scaling groups, okay, so we can get a notification
No.
for us.
Yeah.
A notification will come. Okay, so that is the main advantage. So here, try to create the multiple versions of templates and try to upgrade your auto scaling groups also. Okay, so those all try to perform. And try to change the instance types, one type to another instance type. Okay, another assignment everyone need to do is increase the size of AWS EC2 instance. Okay, for Linux and Windows instance. So for Linux, you take 12 GB, upgrade to maybe 30 GB. In the real time, maybe you may give already 512 like that, but increase more. For Windows, you give 29 GB, upgrade to 30 GB. Why we are going for 30 GB itself is the maximum here? Because that is the free storage we are getting from EBS. So that is the purpose we are going for 30 GB itself. Hence, try to increase the size also. It's required, a reboot is mandatory to increase the size. Without having the reboot, we can't perform that. Okay, these all we can attach to load balancers. So for load balancers, what is load balancing? Layer 4 and layer 7 load balancing, TCP, IP, UDP, HTTP and HTTPS, SSL and TLS, types of algorithms in load balancing, what is proximity. So these are the terminology just go through before starting the load. Load balancing is also not a new thing to the IT. In the last 20 years, every website is having a load balancer, but now we are going to use cloud-based load balancers. Previously, we have the hardware-based load balancers, all those, but now we are going to use AWS-based or Azure-based load balancers we are going to use. So before to understand any load balancer, so previously we have F5 load balancer, we have, then we have Citrix NetScaler, we have HA proxy. Nginx also can act as a reverse proxy. So we have the different types of load balancers. Okay, so for the application high availability, and scalability. For the application scalability, AWS providing auto scaling and load balancing. So ELB stands for Elastic Load Balancer. So that we'll discuss in the tomorrow class. Any doubts?
Srikant, where we can get the link of the recording, just in case I want to watch the recording once again.
Yeah, I'll share you. It takes a half an hour to me to get that link.
Okay.
Once I got the link, I'll share it.
All right, sure. Thank you so much.
Okay, sure. Just go through like load balancing this terminology. Just go through.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so tomorrow we'll discuss more on that.
All right, sure. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Any other doubts? Bharat, are you there? No, your voice is not coming. Good. What about others? Manisha, Shavani.
Uh, I should be texting on WhatsApp for this recording link, right? On this number, which is 9660.
Yeah, 9660 1919.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yeah.